guys, welcome to another video. So I want to do something a little bit different on my channel, and I'm super excited about it because you guys are going to be able to see a different side of me. You're going to see like the Kayla that everybody else gets to see, and I feel like that's fair. I haven't been very open on my channel. You've just only seen makeup tutorials, and I feel like I should kind of show you guys Kayla. I'm going to be doing is starting a series on my channel called Let's Talk. I'm going to talk about specific topics and give my advice or my opinion, or maybe talk to you guys about things that I have been through so I can help somebody, so I can help you that clicked on this video. So to even make it a little bit more fun and not just me just sitting here talking, I'll be doing my makeup while I talk about the specific topic that was chosen for the video. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you're new here and this is your very first time clicking on this video, it's your girl Kayla. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking out this video. Thank you for clicking on this video. And I hope that you will subscribe before you leave and join my little fam. And let's get started. I was never really a depressed kid when I was younger. Played outside all the time, jumped on the trampoline. But when I turned, I think about, it was in my 20s, my early 20s, I went through a traumatic experience, multiple traumatic experiences, but this one was one that really gave me major depression, and it is something that completely changed my entire life. Like, this is something that I never thought would happen to me. Something that happens to other people, not me. This would never ever happen to me. That's literally what I thought when this happened. I was in a 5-year relationship, and during that 5-year period I got pregnant. That was one of the most exciting things in my entire life. God, I'm gonna be a mom. This is gonna be great. Like, I was like super shocked when I found out that I was pregnant, but I was like just mind blown. I was like, what? Okay. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I took the prenatal vitamins. I probably could have ate a little bit better. Like, I did everything. Like, I even Googled like, what's the best position to sleep in, and what should I do with this, and what should I do with that. Everything was going great. Like, I was showing, it's the first time I've ever been pregnant in my entire life, and I was showing very quickly. Went to my very first doctor's appointment. I was at the part where, it was like at the time, whatever many weeks it is, that you can like listen to the heartbeat and stuff like that. They have, the place I went to didn't have like the actual like ultrasound stuff. They just had like the little monitor, like the baby heart monitor that you could put like on the stomach. She could never find a heartbeat. So, oh my god, like that's the worst part to talk when you're like this. We were trying to find a heartbeat and we couldn't. Like, not as far along as we thought you were. So like, okay, like your next doctor's appointment, we'll try again. I went the next doctor's appointment, and of course, like, I think like a couple weeks went by and we still couldn't find a heartbeat. To an actual like hospital type that most people go to, like I went to like the doctor that was like right up the road from my house. They were really good. I still go there. They're amazing. So I went to an actual like hospital that has like the doctor's offices inside of the hospital, and they had to do a, can I even say vaginal? 2 ultrasounds. So they did one, and they did like the tummy ultrasound. Leaving there, like, she did it, I snuck and I like looked up while she wasn't in there to see like, the actual like monitor that showed the ultrasound, and I was like, oh my god, like you can see like a little baby in there, that's crazy. But they couldn't tell me what was said on the screen. I had to wait for my doctor to call me. So I'm like leaving all nervous because I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant, but we can't find a heartbeat and they can't tell me anything. For some odd reason, they weren't telling me anything. They found the heartbeat, everything's fine, which was a huge relief because I'm like, okay, like you kind of don't want to think negative. I want to sit there and think anything bad could have happened. Just went out upset because they didn't tell me anything, but I kind of tried to stay as positive as I could. Time went by, and it was to the point where I had to meet up with another doctor. So I was seeing 2 doctors at the time. The doctor in my local town, and then the doctor that could do, like, that had the monitor, that was actually going to be my delivery doctor. First time meeting him, and I went to my appointment, and my boyfriend at the time went to this appointment with me because it was the appointment where I was going to find out what I was having. So it was going to be one of those, like, I didn't want to know, like, we were going to do like a gender reveal party, so none of us was going to know what I was going to be having until, you know, it was time. Filled out all the paperwork at the doctor's office, the new one that had that I was doing the actual ultrasound to find out what I was having. So my ex-boyfriend, who was my boyfriend at the time, this was his first appointment that he ever went to with me, because the other ones I felt like weren't so serious that he needed to go to, because it was like, ooh, let's check a heartbeat. I mean, I think honestly the 2 most important appointments for your significant other to be at with you is like the gender reveal part, where you go to the doctor and, you know, all that stuff happens, and obviously when you're giving birth. I think that's the 2 most important places for your significant other to be with you at. And we were in there. She was doing her thing. She put like the lube on my stomach. I feel weird saying that, lube. And she started doing her thing, right? So for me, it didn't really hit me at the fact that something could have possibly been wrong, because she was quiet. So I was like, okay, maybe this is normal. Maybe they're all quiet because, you know, you're trying to listen to see if you hear things, heartbeats and things like that. So I was like, okay, well, maybe like the awkward silence is normal. I don't know. This is my first experience. I don't know what I'm supposed to expect. Sorry guys, all my makeup is behind me, so I have to keep getting up and like grabbing stuff and coming back. So she gets like, she's still doing everything, and then she asked me, she's like, are you sure that your due date is the correct due date? And I was like, yes. I was like, I know everything. I'm on top of it all. Like, I know. And she's like, well, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh, okay, well, and she was like, do you see these squares that are lighting up? And I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, nothing is happening in them. Like, this is your baby's heart, and there's nothing. Like, there's nothing. Like, his organs and all of this is, and there's nothing. And she's like, I will be right back. She's like, before, you know, I'm gonna go get another nurse and blah blah blah. And so I'm sitting in the room again. I'm not a negative person. I don't like to think negative. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, like, I don't want to think anything's bad, because she didn't really make it seem too bad at that time. So I just was sitting there on the bed, like, I'm kind of thinking it in the back of my mind, but I'm not fully accepting it yet, that this possibly could be what I think it might be. I want to say I was sitting in the office room, like in the little room I was in, for maybe about 10-15 minutes, or it could have been 5, but it felt like forever, with another nurse. And she comes to me and she's like, so we have 2 options. She's like, we can either do a D&C, which I do not recommend, because for your age, I want to say I was 22 years old. I was 22 years old. And your second option, kind of, I want to say, like, it's pretty much inducing me to have a baby that is not ready to be born yet. Way for me to get closure, for me to do the whole thing, to make it seem like that I went through the whole thing, I got the IV, you know, to make it seem like I'm actually giving birth to my child. And it hit me like, I just miscarried my child. This is actually happening right now. Like, I was just like, what? Like, that's something that you would never think would happen to you. You tell yourself, that would never happen to me. I wouldn't, that's something I would never go through. And then you go through it, and you're like, you hear, I don't even remember if they say miscarried. I don't even remember what word or term that they used, but it was one of those, like, this is for real. Like, this is actually happening as well. The next day, is when I went in to get my whole procedure done. I woke up super early. I think it was like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. My mom couldn't see, so I had to drive us to the hospital. I have to be strong. Like I have to be okay, because I've always been that person where I'm like, no matter what, even if I'm not okay, I'm okay. So I get like the IV hooked up to me, and the next step that they had to do was induce me. So worst thing ever, especially when you're not even anywhere close to giving birth, because your cervix is not anywhere near where it should be. What they have to do to induce you is they take like 2 pills and they put it on their fingers, and they have to insert it in you and put it in your cervix or on your cervix so it dissolves, so the cervix can open, so that way your baby can come out. Do that every 4 hours. I think we did that 3 times. Remember, I'm laying in bed. I remember my mom was there, my dad was there, and that made me feel safe. Not really mentioning my ex at the moment because he was there, but he wasn't really there. He slept the whole time, and the perception I got from him was it just seemed like he didn't care. I'm pretty sure he did, and I know that people grieve in different ways, but for me personally, it just felt like he didn't care, and that it didn't really matter to him, because in his mind, oh, my baby's dead, it is what it is. That's what I got from him, but that might not even be how it was. But when me, my mom, my dad, all of us were all in the room, and instead of him talking and being like, hey, how are you? Do you need anything? Are you okay? Like, I'm here for you. Like, I'm the one sitting in this bed with an IV in me, and I'm over here trying not to cry, and I'm trying to like be strong and hold on and just be Kayla, and you're sleeping. What? You know what I mean? I had to go to the bathroom. Like, I had to pee. And I get up, and like I feel this crazy cramp. I was like, oh, I haven't had a cramp that bad since I was like young. Like when I first, hit puberty, and my very first period I ever had in my entire life. That is what the cramp felt like. That's what that cramp felt like. It hurt so bad. I mean, so bad. I was crying standing up, and I was like, oh my god, I have to go to the bathroom. And I look down, guys, I look down, blood just dripping down my legs. It's just like gushing. It's going down my legs onto my ankles, and then I feel gross because I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Well, I hit the call nurse button, and I clearly remember just saying, so I'm bleeding, and like just nonchalant. Like I feel like I'm just such a nonchalant person. Just like, I'm so laid back and chill that I'm not like, oh my god, I'm bleeding. I'm like, so I'm bleeding. What do I do? That means that it's time. Like the time is approaching to have my baby. So after I use the bathroom, the cramping intensifies. Like it feels like someone is stabbing me, in my woman area with a freaking knife, and it feels like someone's just twisting knots in my stomach. Like, worst cramps I ever had in my life. She gave me some medicine. I don't know what it was, but that was some good medicine. She's like, you're gonna have to lay down for this because it's gonna hit you and you are gonna be out. And it hit me, and your girl was out. I think I slept for about 2 hours. The doctor came in and woke me up out of a very good nap, a well-deserved nap that I needed. And he was like, let's check. And he checked. And it was time. First time ever that I had my water broke. And he pulled out some weird looking device. And it looked like a needle to me, and I was freaking out, but it was plastic, and it had like a little hooky thing on it, and that's how my water got broke. Remember sitting there and feeling like I peed all over myself, and it happened boom, so quick. My baby just came on out. I don't really know what the lady's called, but it's like the lady, I think it's for women that do miscarry, kind of handled the baby and wrapped the baby up and went and took pictures. Did like a memory box. So I don't know if this is every hospital that does this, but my hospital made me a memory box. And when I was pregnant, I was like, I want a boy. I don't want girls. I want a boy. I want a baby boy. And I got a boy. I was so excited. That made everything a little better for me. You know, that I had a son. I had a little boy. I was so excited. When I saw him for the first time, he wasn't far enough along to have like bone what we have. He was definitely skin, and through the skin you could see his veins. You could see his whole shape. You could see he had my arms and my legs, and his face shape, his nose, his jawline, his chin, everything was literally just like his father. My son had trisomy 13. I was lucky enough to find out what my son had that potentially killed him. I am very lucky to find this out, because a lot of people don't get to find out what really happened to their baby once it passed away during a miscarriage. So my son ended up having trisomy 13, and that means that it's a condition in which a person has an extra 13th chromosome. So chromosome 13, instead of having 2 chromosomes, they had an extra one. 3 years ago, I could not tell you why that happened to me, but I can tell you why that happened to me now. I now know why I lost my baby. God knew that 5 months later, I was going to lose my house in a flood. And I wasn't going to have a house. I wasn't going to have a home. I wasn't going to have anything that I needed to take care of that baby. There is nothing anyone can say to you to make that better. And you know that. So when people would be like, I don't know what to say, and I'm like, I know, I don't know what to say either. Like, I would never get mad at somebody that couldn't, you can't fix something. You can't fix a loss of a child, whether my child was in my womb or whether my child was outside of my womb. There's nothing anyone can say to make that better. You are not alone. You didn't do anything wrong, and it's okay. It is okay to every now and then get down and to feel all the emotions rushing back that you pushed into the back of your mind because it's trying to like come forward. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel a heaviness over the situation. Every October 7th since this has happened, I try to preoccupy my mind so I'm not fully thinking about it, but it's still in the back of my mind. I still am sad because it's every year, you know, this October, it'll be 4 years since this happened to me, and I sit there and think, what would I be doing right now with a 4-year-old? Like, what would my life be like if I had a 4-year-old son running around? But no, I would just assume he would probably be in t-ball or playing football or a sport. Like, I could not tell you what I would be doing right now if I had a 4-year-old son. I know that eventually one day I will have another baby, and I hope that it's a healthy pregnancy, and I hope that everything goes well. But I know that if I ever get pregnant again, I'm gonna be scared. I am going to be a nervous wreck, thinking, is this gonna happen to me again? Like, I am not gonna sit here and tell you that it gets easier. I mean, eventually it gets easier, but it's not something that you can just be like, it never happened, because it did. It's always gonna be with you. It's always gonna be in the back of your mind, but you just have to take it day by day and really just stay positive and just remember that they're in heaven. They are little angels. They're always with you, and they're never that far away. I feel like everybody grieves differently, everybody copes differently, so my way of coping might not be how you were coping. I sleep. That is how I cope with anything. I am a sleeper. I will sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. It helps me cope and deal with stress and anxiety and my depression and my overwhelmingness. That helps me. I hope that this video helped you in any way possible. I hope that you know that if this did happen to you, that you are not alone, that I went through that. I had a miscarriage, and I have never felt stronger from going through something so traumatic at such a young age. And I just want you to know that I am here for you, and if you need to talk, write in the comments down below or follow me on any of my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm here for you. Like, I know what you're going through. I have been there, and if you need to talk, I'm here. I am here for you. So I hope that you guys learned something, or that I helped someone out there, and I will see you guys in my next video.